Minutes with ProGrad Junior. I'm Fathima, studying in grade 8 in Credence High School, Dubai, and I'm in ProGrad Junior. And I'm in my year 1 right now. So now we are currently watching the second episode of DIY Coding for Kids. Well, the first episode is already out. It was hosted by my friend Vijay, and it's really amazing. You can check it out using the link in the description of this video. I'm pretty excited to know what we're going to be coding in this episode. So let's not wait anymore. Let me call our expert coder, Ragavi.
Hey Fatima. Hey everyone.
Hey Ragavi, I've been really waiting to know what we're going to be coding today.
That's amazing. But before I reveal what we are going to do today, I have a question for you. Do you love to read jokes?
Yes, I really love reading them. It makes me quite happy.
Not just us, I think most of you would love reading too. So today we are going to build a bot for generating jokes. So
Wow, that's amazing.
let me quickly show you the bot that we are talking about. So this is the bot. Wanna hear something funny?
Yes, I would love to.
Let's go ahead. What do you call a careful wolf?
I don't know.
A werewolf. Okay, next. Why do bees hum? Because they don't know the words. Okay. So now each time when we click the next button, we are going to get new jokes again and again, right? So it's going to be really fun and all the joke lovers are going to love this. Okay. Shall we quickly do this?
Yes, let's jump right into it.
Okay. So I'm going to go to Code Pen and create a new pen. If you guys don't know how to create a new pen, watch the first video of this DIY series. The link is given in the description box. So now I'm just gonna name it as joke generator. Okay. So now first we are going to do the HTML part and then CSS and then JavaScript. Okay. Fatima, what do you know about HTML?
HTML is the basic structure of our web page.
Yes, HTML is going to give the basic structure for our page. Okay, so this is the joke generator bot that we are talking about, right? So here we have a heading, if you see through it, and then we have a button, and then we have the joke. We got a punchline for that joke, and then we got a minion image, and finally we have got a code your own joke generator. This is going to be a link. So this is the basic structure, right? So first we are going to create this basic structure using HTML, and then we are going to add colors, background colors. We are going to make it look good using CSS. And finally, we are going to make it work using JavaScript. So this is what we are going to do. So shall we start the HTML part?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay. So in HTML, we have tags for each and everything. So if you want to know all the basic tags, please do watch our first video. So now, first we are going to include a heading. So in HTML, for heading, we have 6 tags. So I'm going to go with the first tag, H1. So H1 is the largest heading and H6 is the smallest one. So in H1, I'm going to say, do you want to hear something funny? This is a question. Okay. Now, after H1, what do we have? We have a button, right? So, yes, even for button, we have a tag. So, type the tag name and press tab. The tag will get expanded. So, now what do I want on the button? I want yes. So, I'm giving yes here. So, now you can see that we got a button which says yes. So after button, we have to include joke, right? So now we don't have any joke. We are going to get it. So I'll tell you where we are going to get it. But before that, I'm just going to create an empty division for the jokes and one more division for the punchline. And then what do we have? We have this minion image. So we have the URL of the minion image here. So I'm going to use that. So we'll be giving you this URL in the description box. So when you guys are doing this, you can use that URL. So now to include an image, we have a tag for that. So I'm gonna type img and press tab. So once I do that, you can see the image tag got expanded. So here we got two things, src and alt. Src stands for source. So this is where we are going to include the image link. Okay, so which is the source. So once I do that, you can see I got the minion image here. Now what is this alt? Why should I need this? So sometimes when the network is very slow, or when the image is not loaded properly, or if this link is wrong, then we'll not get the image. So that time I'm gonna tell the user that I have an image here. So whatever text we are giving inside this alt will be shown when the image is not loaded. Okay, right. So after that, we have code your own joke generator. So it is going to be a link. So for link, what is the tag we'll be using for link, Fatima?
The A tag.
A tag, yes. So A stands for anchor tag. So this is the link that we'll be using. So we'll give the link later. Now we'll just give the sentence. So what is the sentence? Code your own joke generator. So I'm gonna type that. And then we have a heart symbol there, right? So I have the HTML code of the heart symbol here. So you guys can search in Google uh, and get the symbol. So if you just search for HTML hard code, you will get it. I'll just show you how to take that. So I'm giving HTML hard code. So so we can get heart symbol like this. So you can take the code and you can just include it in your page. So now you can see that I got code your own joke generator with the heart, right? So this is our HTML part. So only thing that I have left here is we have to link this to YouTube. We'll do it later. So now you guys can see that we got the basic structure for our page, right? So using HTML, we'll be creating the basic structure. Now we are done with the HTML part. So shall we dive in and see how to style it using CSS?
Yes, let's see how we can make this web page look beautiful.
Yes. Okay, let's do it. So HTML basically has a structure. It will have two parts, head and the body. So whatever we are giving here will be inside the body part. Since we are using an online compiler, we were not able to see that. In this, so whatever we have given here will be inside body part. So now, when you want to style it, so whatever we are seeing here, no, whatever the entire white screen. So this thing is called as body. So when we want to style it, we have to use the tag name to style it. So now I'm gonna style the body. So I'm giving the tag name body and then I'm giving a curly brace. So inside that we can do whatever styling we want to do. Now let's say I want to give a background color. So I'm gonna type background and I'm gonna choose color. So now we can give any color we want. Let's go for some blue. Okay, it's very dark. Let's try for some light blue. Okay, right. So now we have given the background color. Let's just see this in full page view. I'm just gonna change the view. Okay, it's fitting the screen. So no problem. Okay. Let's arrange everything to the center. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna align all the text to the center. So I'm giving text align. So now you can see everything is aligned to the center. Okay. So now, shall we quickly design the button? So for button, I'm gonna give a name. So when you want to style a particular element, we'll be giving a name to that element and then we'll be styling it. So how do we give names? Fatima, how do we give names?
We can use the ID or class selectors.
Yes, so we can use selectors as Fatima said. So we have ID selector and we have class selector. Now I'm gonna use ID selector. So using ID, we can give a name to the tag. So now let's call it as button. So I'm giving the name as button. So now when you want to style it, when we are using ID, we have to always begin with hash. So hash button. We are going to increase the width of the button. So width, let's say some 160 px. Px stands for pixel, which is a measuring unit. So yeah, we got something like this. Uh, yeah. After width, I'm just gonna increase the height of the button. So I'm going for height property. So let's give some 50 px. So now I'm gonna increase the text size. So how do we increase the text size? We have a property called as font size. So I'm gonna give font size, let's say some 32 px. Okay, now I think it looks good. So we can give background color if you want to give. So you can give any color you want. You don't have to follow the same color that we are doing. So you can select any color that you want. So I'm gonna give some different background color. Maybe we can go with the dark blue. And then we can change the color of the text, maybe let's say to white, any color that you like. Okay, so now this is our button. So now when I hover over the button, when I move my cursor over the button, it's just same, right? But in this, when I hover over the button, the cursor is changing to something different, right? How do we do that? Any idea, Fatima?
We can use the cursor pointer option in CSS.
Yes, so we can use cursor pointer option in CSS. So I'll be giving the name of the button, and then when we hover over it, so I'm giving hover property here. So what we are going to do, we are going to change the cursor. So cursor, I'm gonna make it as pointer. So now you can see, I'm just saving the pen. If we hover over the button, the cursor is changing as a pointer. So this is how we'll make the cursor as a pointer. So now you guys can see that not everything is aligned properly, right? So I have the heading and button at the center, but the image and the footer part is not at the center, right? It is not at the center. So now, how do we align it? So when you want to align something flexibly, like however we want, we have a property in CSS. We'll call it as flexbox. So as the name indicates, we can align everything flexibly. Okay. So now let's see how to do that. So we have so many properties in flexbox. I'll just try to say one by one. So when you want to use display flex, so when you want to use flex, we'll be giving it as display flex. But when we do that, you can see that everything is coming in a straight line, right? So that is the flex property. That's what flex do. So when we apply flex property to something, everything will be arranged in a row. Now we can change direction. If you want to change the direction, yes, we can do that. So we have a property for that, which is called as flex direction. So you can make it as row or you can make it as column, however you want. Now we want it to be in the column manner, right? So I'm arranging everything in the column manner. So now you can see that everything is arranged in a vertical order. So now I want everything to be aligned to the center. So how do I do it? How do I do it? So in Flex, we have so many properties for doing that. We have justify content. So I know I think you guys would know what is justify. So it will align, right? Even in Word and even in Microsoft Word, you would have seen justify. You can align something to the left or to the right or to the center. So even here, we can use justify content. We can give center, and then we have one more property, which is align items. Even we can use align items to align the items. So this everything has so many properties inside it. So in justify content, you can make it start, end, or center. Even in align items, we can bring it to the top, bottom, or center. However we want, we can align it. So now we are using justify content and align items to align everything in the center. So now you can see that we have arranged everything properly. Everything is in center, right? So now that's it. So after giving jokes, we'll do the remaining styling. After fetching the jokes, we can do the remaining styling part. Now let's just move to the JS part. Okay. Now, Fatima, I have a question. Where do you think we are getting the jokes from?
Maybe as a already generated JavaScript code, we can integrate it into our HTML.
Okay. It's similar to that. So we have something called as an API. I'll show you that. So we have found a website. So it's called Official Joke API. So now in this website, this is an API website. I'll tell you what API is. So they are giving jokes. So basically, when you refresh the screen, you will get new jokes again and again. So this is a joke. Okay. And this is the punchline for that joke. So every time we refresh, we'll get new jokes. You can see it here. This is my joke and this is my punchline. So every time we refresh, we are getting new jokes. So this is where we are going to get the jokes from. But then we have to talk about API, right? So I mentioned a word called as API. So what is API? Okay, let's talk about a real time scenario and then let's try to understand what is an API. Okay, Fatima, have you been to restaurants?
Yeah, I go out every time with my family.
Yes, I think most of you guys will go to the restaurants, right? So when you go to the restaurant, what will a waiter do?
They will give you a menu and assist us.
Yes, so they'll give you menu. So you have to choose, you have to select foods and you have to order, right? So now the waiter is the one who is going to connect you and the kitchen. So in the kitchen, they are going to prepare food. You are going to order food. So now who's going to transfer the food from the kitchen to you? So the waiter is going to do, right? So the waiter will take the order from you. He will go to the kitchen. He will convey the order. He'll wait until the food gets ready, and then he'll just get the food back to you. He'll serve the food, and then he'll go, right? So this is the process that we'll do. So now the waiter is the API. So now this is a website, web page from where we are going to fetch jokes. So where we are going to display the jokes in our joke generator, right? So this is our joke generator. This is where we are going to display jokes. But how do I connect both of them? So that's where API plays a role, right? So I have something called as Axios in JavaScript. We have something called as Axios in JavaScript, using which we can connect the joke generator as well as the uh, website, which is the official joke API, right? So that is API. So using API, we are going to connect them both and we are going to get all the jokes from there and we are going to display it in our joke generator. Shall we see how to do that?
Yes, let's get into it.
Okay. So guys, we talked about Axios, right? So Axios is an API. So it is going to be the middle part to fetch the jokes from that official jokes and to display it on our joke board. So when we want to do that, we have to include it in our page. So how do we include it? So we have a CDN for that. CDN is just a link. So if you go to Google and if you search for Axios CDN, you will get it. So I already got it and I have put it in the GitHub page. So we'll give this CDN in the description box. So when you're doing, you can use it. We'll also give the API in the description box. You can use that as well. So now I'm just going to go back to joke generator. So here, what I'm going to do is, so this is a script file. That is, Axios is actually a script file. If you open it, okay, sorry. If you open it, you will see these are all JavaScript code. Okay, this is actually a script file. So when we want to include a script file, we have to use script tag. So I'm just gonna use script tag where in the source, I'm gonna give the URL that is the CDN of Axios. So now we have included Axios in our website. Now it's time to do JavaScript. So now what we have to do when we click on the button, right? When we click on the button, we have to fetch joke from the website. We have to display the joke in this division and the punchline in this division, right? So now let's give name for both the divisions. So let's say I'm gonna give name as joke and here maybe um, let's call it as punchline. So now, first of all, we have to select the button, the joke, and the punchline. So how do we select? So we have a syntax using which we can select. So it has been clearly explained in the first video, so you can check it out in the first video. So now, first I'm going to select the button. So to select the button, we'll use this syntax document dot get element by ID, and we are going to give the ID name of the button. So what is the ID we have given for button? It's button. So I'm just going to give that here. So this is how we'll select an HTML element in JavaScript. So now I have selected button. So similarly, I have to select joke and punchline. So I'm just gonna copy this and use it again. So this time I'm gonna call it as joke. What is the ID that we have given for joke?
Sure.
Right? So we are going to give it as joke. And again, one more thing. So now we are going to select punchline. Punchline. The ID for punchline is also punchline. You can see here. So I'm just gonna give it here. So now we have selected button, joke, and punchline. Now, if we click on the button, we want to get the joke, right? So now we are going to write a function. So what is that function? On click function, which is an inbuilt function in JavaScript. We are not going to describe that. So whenever you want something to happen on a button click, we can use this function. So button dot on click is equal to, this is how we'll write a function. So now when the user clicks the button, we are going to get the joke from this website, right? Official joke API.appspot. So I'm just going to copy this. So who's going to fetch it? Axios is going to fetch it, as I've already told you. So we are going to use Axios here. We are going to get the data. So I'm using get. So here we have to give the URL. Now, when you're fetching data from a different site, two things can happen. One is we'll fetch the data successfully. Otherwise, there may be some errors while fetching the data, right? These are the two things that will happen. Now, when we get the response properly, we are going to display the response. But what if we get errors? So we have two methods for that, which is then and catch. So when we are getting proper response, we are going to use then method. So we are going to display the joke. But if you are getting error, we are going to catch the error. We are going to say it in the console, not in the display. So we have to know that there is an error, right? So for that, we are going to use catch method. So first we'll write then method. So here we are going to use a function. This is an anonymous function which is going to give me a response. So I'm saying response here. Now, this is the response that we are getting. So what is the response we'll be getting? We'll be getting this joke. Joke is our response now. This will be the response. So now what I'm going to do is, if Axios works perfectly, if this URL works perfectly, then we'll get the response for sure. If we are getting the response, we are going to display the joke, right? So now in this official joke API, you can see that this is my joke. How does a train eat? Okay. So the name of this joke, they have given it as setup. Okay. And this is my punchline. The name is punchline. So here is my answer. It goes choo choo. Okay. And along with that, we have so many properties also, ID, type. So we don't need this ID and type. We need the setup and punchline alone. So now I'm going to display the setup in joke and this punchline in punchline. So we are going to display the setup here in this division, and we are going to display the punchline here in this division. This is what we are going to do. So now, as soon as we get the joke, what we are doing here, see, this is my starting page. So I have got yes in my button. So as soon as I press S, my button text is changing to next. So this is what I'm going to do. So first I'm going to change the button text. So button dot text content. I'm changing the text content of the button. So what we are going to change, we are going to change it as next. So I'm giving next here. So now, after that, what we are going to do, we are going to display the joke. So how do we display the joke? We are going to display the joke here. So we have selected it here. So let's just give joke again dot text content. So now what we are going to display in the joke, we are going to display the setup, right? So where is the setup? It is there in the response. The response, what we are getting, no, it will contain all the data from which we are going to select only setup now. So we have to write it as response dot data dot setup. So from the whole response, we are selecting the entire data. From the data, we are just selecting setup and we are displaying it in joke content, right? So after that, what we have to do, we have to display the punchline. So let's just do that. So now, have you seen here? So once I click on the joke, first the setup will be displayed. After some time, the punchline will be displayed. So now, how do we create this delay? Do you have any idea, Fatima? How do we create this delay?
Using the timeout function.
Yes. So we are going to use timeout function. So in JavaScript, for creating delays, we have some functions. So from which I'm going to use a function called a set timeout. So let's just do that. So I'm going to use set timeout. So this is how we'll write set timeout. So what am I going to do? I'm going to display the punchline. So what is the name of the punchline? It's punchline, right? So let's just select the punchline. Let's give it here. So punchline dot text content is equal to, again, response dot data dot, I think it's punchline here. Okay, it's punchline. So we are going to display this punchline. So I said we are going to create a delay, right? So where we are going to give that delay? I'm going to give it here. So we'll be giving the delay in milliseconds. So let's say 3000 milliseconds. So this is how we'll write a set timeout function. So now we have displayed joke. We have also displayed the punchline. So this is when we get proper response. What if we don't get proper response? What if we get error? So for that, what we are going to do is we are going to write one more function which is called as catch. So whenever we get an error, we are going to catch the error. So let's say function error, because we are going to get error. If we get error, I'm just going to display the error in the console. So console.log error. That's it. So now we have finished our coding part. Shall we quickly check if this is working? Okay, so I'm going to click on yes. So yeah, I'm getting the joke. What happens to a frog's car when it breaks down? It gets stowed away. Okay, now yes. Why do scuba divers fall backwards into the river? But then, do you see we have a problem here? Even after clicking this yes button, the previous punchline was there. It's not changing. The previous punchline is not changing. So what we are going to do is maybe before displaying the punchline, before displaying the joke, we can just clear the previous text, whatever it was there in that. So now I'm just gonna do punchline dot text content is equal to empty. So now each time, whenever we are generating a new joke, the punchline will be empty, and then after some time we'll get the punchline for the correct question. So now let's try this. So yeah, okay, I'm not getting the punchline now. Okay. Have you guys noticed there is one more problem here? So each time when I'm clicking the button, I'm not getting the next here. I'm getting yes. So what is the problem? So this is our next. So there is a spelling error. So it should be text content. Now let's just save it and let's just try it again. So now it's changing. Okay. Now let's just style this joke and punchline. So I'm giving the name of the joke and the name of the punchline. So it's joke and punchline. So we are going to increase the font size. let's say some 24 px, and then we'll also give some line height, some 30 px. Let's see how it looks. Okay, now it looks like this. Maybe we can increase the line height. So now we have almost completed our joke board, right? We have only one thing to do, which is we have forgot to link this text, code your own joke generator. So now, where we are going to link this text, we are going to link it to our ProGrad Junior channel, which is in YouTube. So I'm just going to copy the channel link. I'm going to come back to joke generator. I'm going to put it in href. So now, why am I doing this? Why are we doing this? So we want all the users, whoever wants to do this joke generator, to build it. So now, if you are doing your own joke generator, if you are sharing it to your friends, those who want to do it can click on the link, watch the video, and do it, so that everyone will get benefited, right? So that's why we are doing. So now we have given the link. I'll open this link in a new page so that we'll not lose this page. I'm just gonna click here and open link in new tab. So now you can see that a new tab has been opened and we have got the YouTube channel here. So you can watch all the videos of ProGrad Junior here. So now let's go to the full page view. So this is our joke generator bot. I hope you guys would have enjoyed it.
This joke generator bot is too cool, Ragavi. I guess my friends would love this bot.
That's great.
Thank you, Ragavi, for teaching us this bot.
Thanks to you to Fatima for hosting me. It's always fun teaching coding.
So, kids, did you enjoy coding with us? If you did, then do give this video a like. Also, for more such amazing coding videos, subscribe to our channel right away. And yeah, don't forget to tag and share your joke bots with us. We'd love to watch your creations. See you guys. See you, Ragavi.
See you, Fatima. See you guys.